The first step for posting leads into the boberdoo lead system and selling to fixed price partners is getting the leads in. The way that you post the leads in, you're going to need 4 things. You will need an API key. You will need a source or SRC value. You will need the API specs to give to your website designer. And you will be using the mode equals full. The first thing we are going to do is get the API specs. That goes in your settings, subtab API specs. This will open a new page with all of the standard APIs for your lead system. To post leads in, use the ping post lead API. This will give you instructions on how to get leads into your system, both in our current example with a full mode as well as ping post. You have examples of URLs here depending on your designer. We're going to use the API key, a source, which is SRC. The landing page is required. Sub ID and pub ID are optional variables, and the type is going to be dependent on the specific lead specs in your system. The first thing we're going to do is grab the spec URL. Again, these specs show all of the required optional fields for a lead to post in, as well as the responses. Ultimately, you'll be looking for a matched and unmatched response. Going back into the system, the next thing we want to do is grab the API key. API keys are user specific, so all users in the system have a unique API. You can find yours by clicking on your user and going to the settings tab. That will show you the API key via this button here, and you can copy that API key. The third thing we will do is create a source or SRC value. Source is an important variable because it not only tells you where the lead came from, it also tells the system what actions to take. We're going to call this source direct post. And there are a lot of switches on this page. For example, our lead scoring, this is an optional add-on that is 20 cents per lead. Your lead costs, if you are paying a fixed price per lead, you can put that in here for reporting purposes. And then also the partners per lead. This shows the maximum number of times a given lead will try to be sold. The rest of these primarily are concerned with third-party vendors, so we can keep all of the default settings and just save this source. And the source is created. The SRC value is the source name. So to recap, we need the API specs, which is the ping post lead API. And we can go and grab again that URL, which is in this spec URL here. The second thing we need is the API key. That again can be found in your user settings. And that is the second thing we need to provide. The third thing we need is the source or SRC value. That is found in settings, source vendor settings, and is the name of the source that you create. You can create unlimited sources, which help you track and get a true ROI on your campaigns. Lastly, we will use mode equals full.